you living in an area where water leaks and burst pipes have been a problem? Another big issue from the weekend, the Fourways area has problems, a major pipe burst there, and technicians have been battling, looking at those Twitter pictures, and they battled the whole weekend, and eventually they said, we actually can't fix this. So they did turn the water back on again. I'm not sure how they did that, but it just sort of outlines what's going on in our country, where at the moment in our province there are problems with infrastructure, and the Fourways area seems to be a major problem because as development goes sort of north, the development there is getting bigger and bigger, and the bottom line is the infrastructure is not coping. On the line, we have Johannesburg Water Operations General Manager Etienne Hugo. Hi, Etienne. Good morning. Welcome to 702.
Good morning, Ray. Good morning, listeners.
Right. So what is the problem in Fourways then exactly?
Okay, Ray, the first thing in Fourways specifically, we sit with aged infrastructure in that specific area, as well as the type of infrastructure on the normal reticulation mains, where we still have asbestos cement or AC pipes that provides the water. And those pipes actually reach the end of their useful life, and therefore you've got this frequent pipe burst on the networks that's creating these no water situations. Currently, if you look at Joburg Water, we've got about a 2.3 billion rand backlog that we want to address. A billion rand backlog that we want to address in the next 10 years. Getting rid of or actually replace all this aging water infrastructure that we're currently experiencing problems with.
It's a big problem though, because if you're talking 10 years, that means for the next 10 years there are going to be problems in Fourways and elsewhere.
Not necessarily in Fourways. Remember how we replace this pipe, we work on a priority basis. So for instance, if we talk about Fourways specifically, Fourways is one of our next areas that we're targeting. So in this current financial year, budget has already been earmarked to replace problematic pipes within the Fourways area, as well as these relevant other areas like that comes to mind is also the Leakage area, close to Linden, that's also earmarked for this financial year that we, going to replace those problematic pipes, so that we can have a more sustainable water supply infrastructure in those areas.
Yeah. Etienne, just listening to what you have to say, I mean, this is a problem. This is like an ESCOM problem. We've had this for many, many years now. What's at the heart of this? Are we going back 15 years and nothing was done, or was it just poor planning on the part of the city of Johannesburg?
I don't necessarily say it's poor planning. I think the big thing is usually your financial resources that is always not matching up on what needs to be done. So if you look from a planning perspective, I think from a water supply point of view, the plans are there, the areas has been identified, and we're also catering for those areas in the budgets. However, you still sit, with a situation where what you require from a financial resource point of view don't always match what you need to do, and hence that's when you sometimes sit with the situations. However, we're working towards that to replace that as fast as possible, to also the money that's available to earmark it specifically for the retrofitting and the renewal of existing infrastructure, and to ensure that sustainability and water supply going forward.
Yeah. All right, you spoke about Leakage, you spoke about Fourways. What's the state of the rest of the province when it comes to piping?
Okay, the rest of I think all the municipalities, is experiencing the same situation. We're sitting with aged infrastructure. You're sitting with a situation where, your pipe replacement or the rate at which you can replace this infrastructure is not fast enough due to financial resources. But I think the important thing is that, the country is currently planning. They understand what needs to happen, and as financial resources is becoming available, it is actually put to good use in those specific areas to make sure water and sanitation systems don't collapse.
But you do paint a very good picture, but that is not the exact picture, because you can ask people in Fourways at the moment, they are seething. They are sort of left without water for a couple of days. Surely this is poor planning. We shouldn't get to a point where things break and then we fix. Surely we should say, like you say, these are concrete pipes. We know they're going to break. We should have done this years ago.
Yeah. See, like I said, the rate at which we replace it and the financial resource don't always match up. So you will always sometimes sit with this catch-up game. But the positive thing is, we're currently addressing it. If we just left it, and say, there's nothing that else can be done, I think that would be problematic. However, I think that is not the case, specifically in the Fourways area, where we do, have the things and pipe replacement already started last year, although at a minor scale, but now currently there's a bigger pipe scale, scale of pipe replacement that's currently going to happen in Fourways.
How big is your network?
We've got just over 12,000 kilometers of water pipe.
Sure. So if you've got 12,000 kilometers of water pipe, are you able to change that, service that? Wow, in the next 10 years, that's a long, long way to go.
Yeah, so that's why I said currently we've got about 2.3 billion rand that is required to replace that, to replace the problematic or the age infrastructure within that specific area, and or within that specific 12,000 kilometers. And like I said, in the previous financial year, we've done about over 100 kilometers, and we plan for a further, about 120 kilometers in the coming financial years, so that we slowly but surely replace, but starting at the problematic infrastructure.
Okay, let me rephrase my question then. Do you have the teams to do this? And in what sort of time period are you looking? You spoke about 10 years, but if it's 12,000 kilometers, do you actually have the teams to attend to 12,000 kilometers of water pipe? I mean, what's the state of affairs?
Yes, currently, remember, we've got the teams for your reactive and preventative maintenance to maintain this 12,000 kilometers. Yes, we do have. We've got 10 depots spread out through the city of Johannesburg to do the repair and maintenance. If we start looking at pipe replacement, which is usually contract work, yes, there is internal resources for your planning, your design, and so forth, and then usually your execution is farmed out to the contractors, which there is available. But also just remember what we say in the next 10 years, we're not going to replace the entire 12,000 kilometers. We're replacing the backlog, the 2.3 billion rands worth of backlog, which is in the vicinity of about 1,200 kilometers of pipe.
Etienne, when a pipe gets old, is this healthy for people to drink the water? And I'm sure Rand Water could help with this explanation as well. But is it healthy? Because if you don't change those pipes, I would think there's a lot of seepage, there's a lot of leakage as well, and people could perhaps get sick.
No, I don't think that is the case. Remember, a water pipe system is pressurized. So therefore, your pipe, your water is tend to leak out, and not to actually to take, water into the pipe itself. So that's the first thing. So because it's pressurized, the chances of contamination from the outside is very little. Secondly, we do over 500 samples in the entire city of Joburg, water reticulation on a monthly basis. And currently we're complying 99.9% to the SANS 241 drinking water compliance in that regard. So the fact that the pipe is aging will not impact on the water quality. What it does impact, is the more the reliability, because you sit with water pipe burst, but not on water quality.
We are lucky. It's been raining. It's about to start raining once again. It's the summer season in Gauteng. The Vaal Dam's not looking too bad. But how much water do you lose to seepage, to leakage?
We lose about 20 through leakage. We between 20-25% of our water we lose due to physical losses or leakages that we're experiencing on our system. That's just about on an annual basis below about 100 million kiloliters of water.
That's a lot of water. I mean, you would think you would. Is there something you can do about that, or is that just simply fixing the pipes?
Yes. No, there's various activities that's catering for that, to limit that. First is your infrastructure renewal that we discussed as well. We're doing pressure management, where we manage the pressure in areas so that we don't sit with excessive pressures. We also do active and passive leakage control, where we've got dedicated teams that go through the infrastructure. They investigate, they survey them, and make sure all the leaks is actually picked up and reported and repaired. And then we also do, the fixing and replacing of wasteful infrastructure on property, specifically in your low-income areas, in your Sowetos, your Orange Farms, in your Alexanders and so forth, where we go onto properties and we're fixing, infrastructure that is wasting water, on people's properties who naturally can't afford to repair them.
Yeah. Etienne Hugo, Johannesburg Water Operations General Manager. Great to have you on 702. I suppose the bottom line is that they're trying. They're doing something about it. They're trying. They are replacing those pipes. But I do know that Fourways residents are frustrated. And I think it's not only Fourways, it's Lone Hill, other places as well. As you go north, people are angry about that. Are you affected by these water shortages? I'd like to hear from you. 011-883-0702.
Current events, developing stories,
tough questions.
your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.